puzzling ancient finds have a way of captivating the public, perhaps because it's just too easy to dream up interesting explanations for how and why things exist. These 12 archaeological discoveries have left people in awe, and left scientists scratching their heads, year after year. 1. Archaeologists have unearthed plenty of holy artifacts, including jars, but uncovering a holy jar, i.e. a jar full of holes, was a first for researchers. The jar, which was initially recovered from a bomb crater outside of London after World War II, dates back to Roman Britain, the part of Britain under Roman rule from about AD 43 to 410, and researchers speculate that it may have been used as a lamp or as a kind of animal cage for either mice or snakes. However, these possible uses are really just educated guesses, according to archaeologists. The strange-looking vessel is on display at the Museum of Ontario Archaeology in Canada, where researchers are waiting for someone to come along who has seen a similarly holy jar and who might know the purpose of such an item. 2. Here's one archaeological mystery that we'd really like to solve. An ancient copper scroll discovered at the site of Qumran in 1952 might describe massive amount of hidden gold and silver, but no one knows where that treasure might be or if it even exists. The copper scroll was found alongside the Dead Sea Scrolls in what is now the West Bank in the Palestinian territories. It dates back nearly 2,000 years to a time when the Roman Empire controlled the Qumran settlement. Researchers believe that the scroll might describe a treasure that was hidden by locals to keep it out of the hands of Roman forces during the area's frequent revolts against the empire. 3. Not every perplexing archaeological discovery is made by a seasoned archaeologist. In 1929, a man repairing a sewage ditch in China's Sichuan province uncovered a treasure trove of jade and stone artifacts. These treasures found their way into the hands of private collectors, and in 1986, archaeologists working in the area unearthed 2 more pits full of Bronze Age treasures, including jade, elephant tusks, and bronze sculptures. But who created these hidden wonders? Researchers now believe that members of the Sangsingui civilization, a culture that collapsed between 3,000 and 2,800 years ago, made the artifacts. Archaeologists now know that the Sangsingui once inhabited a walled city along the banks of the Minjiang River. But why they left this city, and why they buried so many artifacts in pits before absconding, is the source of much speculation among researchers. In 2014, researchers presented one idea at the meeting of the American Geophysical Union in San Francisco, suggesting that an earthquake 3,000 years ago may have rerouted the city's river, causing the inhabitants to move. 4. In 2003, scientists in Israel discovered an enormous stone structure beneath the Sea of Galilee. The monument, which is made up of many giant stones placed on top of one another, weighs an estimated 60,000 tons, heavier than most warships, and rises nearly 32 feet, 10 meters, high. The scientists who found this underwater rock pile, or cairn, have no idea what it may have been used for, though cairns in other parts of the world traditionally mark burials, according to the researchers. Other huge rock structures are located nearby, though none of these known structures are underwater. It's possible that rising sea levels submerged what was once a land-based cairn, the researchers explained after the discovery. Yitzhak Paz, of the Israel Antiquities Authority and Ben-Gurion University, believes this aquatic monument could date back more than 4,000 years. It may be the remains of some kind of fortified settlement, Paz told Live Science in 2013. 5. The Ark of the Covenant is a gold-encrusted wooden chest that contains the stone tablets of the Ten Commandments, according to the Book of Exodus. In ancient times, this holy box was kept in the First Temple, a Jewish place of worship in Jerusalem. But the First Temple was destroyed in 587 BC by a Babylonian army led by King Nebuchadnezzar II, according to the Hebrew Bible. No one knows for sure what became of the Ark, though since its disappearance, many people, both real and fictional, have gone looking for it. So far, no one has actually found the holy relic, apart from Indiana Jones, of course. Some ancient reports say that the Ark made its way to Babylon after Nebuchadnezzar's sack of the city. Others say that the Ark was buried somewhere in Jerusalem, or that it was destroyed along with the First Temple. Modern reports hint that the Ark resides in a monastery in Ethiopia. And a recently translated ancient Hebrew text suggests that the Ark of the Covenant will simply reveal itself, though not until the day of the coming of the Messiah, son of David. 6. The so-called Kokno stone measures 43 feet by 26 feet, 13 by 8 meters, and contains swirling patterns known as cup and ring marks that have also been identified at prehistoric sites in other parts of the world. The slab may be an example of ancient artwork, according to Kenny Brophy, an archaeologist and senior lecturer at the University of Glasgow. Researchers who studied the Concho stone in the 1930s believed the stone's inscriptions may have been linked to astronomical phenomena, like eclipses, but Brophy doesn't think that's the case. He and his team of researchers are currently studying the stone more closely to discern how prehistoric people may have used it. 7. Giant stone spheres, some dating as far back as AD 600, pepper the Diquis Delta of southern Costa Rica. Known locally as Los Bolas, the Balls, these monuments were the works of a pre-Columbian civilization, and most are made from gabbro, a rock that forms from molten magma. The people who carved the stones into their perfectly spherical shapes likely did so using other small stones, according to archaeologists who study the ancient rocks. Many non-experts have speculated that the so-called Diquis spheres were used for astronomical purposes, while others think they may have pointed the way to significant places. The truth is that no one knows for sure, and perhaps this historical mystery will never be solved. The Chibchan people who once populated Costa Rica and other parts of Central America vanished in the wake of the Spanish conquest, and the purpose of the spheres vanished with them, John W. Hoops, an anthropologist at the University of Kansas, told JSTOR Daily in January 2016. 8. Found in the sunken wreckage of a Greek cargo ship that is at least 2,000 years old, the circular bronze artifact contains a maze of interlocking gears and mysterious characters etched all over its exposed faces. Originally thought to be a kind of navigational astrolabe, archaeologists continue to uncover its uses and now know that it was, at the very least, a highly intricate astronomical calendar. It is still the most sophisticated device ever found from that period, preceding the next appearance of similar devices by 1,000 years. 9. Cleopatra VII was the last of a series of rulers called the Ptolemies who ruled Egypt between 305 and 30 BC. Much is known about her intelligence, beauty, and romantic relationships. She had children with both Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, but one fact about Cleopatra is still shrouded in mystery: her burial place. Cleopatra and Antony both committed suicide after their former ally, Octavian, defeated them at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC. The two were buried together at a site that the writer Plutarch, AD 45 to 120, described as a lofty and beautiful monument, located near a temple of the Egyptian goddess Isis. But exactly where this tomb is located remains a mystery. If anyone ever finds the lover's tomb, there's a chance it might be empty, as grave robbery was not uncommon in ancient times, according to archaeologists. 10. In 1974, farmers in China's Shanxi province accidentally unearthed one of the biggest archaeological finds of the 20th century, the life-size terracotta army of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, 259 BC, 210 BC. The intricately carved figures aren't a mystery. Historians know that the clay army was created to defend China's first emperor in the afterlife. What isn't known, however, is where exactly the emperor is buried or what treasures his burial chamber might contain. A pyramid-shaped mausoleum is located about a mile to the northeast of where the terracotta army was discovered. However, no one has actually entered the mausoleum that holds Qin Shi Huang's remains. The first emperor's final resting place is the most opulent tomb ever constructed in China, according to ancient documents describing its construction. An underground palace, complete with a surrounding kingdom, the mausoleum is made up of a network of caves and even included a state-of-the-art drainage system. Whether archaeologists will ever have the technology they need to safely excavate the tomb, which also happens to contain extremely high levels of mercury, remains a mystery, as do the many treasures that lay inside. 11. The lost city of Atlantis has been discovered in the Bahamas, Greek islands, Cuba, and even Japan, if every claim was to be believed. First described by the ancient Greek historian Plato in 360 BC, the mythological island was supposedly a great naval power before sinking into the sea over 10,000 years ago in a catastrophic event. Archaeologists debate the actual historical existence of the island as well as its most plausible location if it ever actually existed among the many sunken ruins discovered around the world. But even without definitive proof, Atlantis continues to engage the popular imagination like few other archaeological mysteries out there. 12. Sprucing up an otherwise docile English field, the prehistoric monument commonly known as Stonehenge is one of the world's most famous landmarks. The ring of megalithic stones was built approximately 4,000 years ago and was an impressive feat for the primitive people who constructed it, but that's about all archaeologists know for sure. None of the theories on the original purpose of Stonehenge, which range from an astronomical observatory to a religious temple of healing, has ever been, well, set in stone.